Hey, stop! What are you doing? Society collapsed like only 3 days ago.
You might be asking yourself, what is this big mess of gear all over the table and what is its purpose? Well, Buddy and I next week are going down to Arkansas to take part in TUSC, Tactical Urban Sustainment Course down at DARC. You've probably heard of the course. They run it a couple times a year. It's pretty secretive by nature because the scenario is based around societal collapse after the first days or weeks of an event taking place. So you and your teammates are down there for 4 days and 3 nights, and you have to have everything with you. You have to ruck it in, ruck it out, and you have to have all of your sustainment gear with you at all times, and they're gonna go through various different scenarios with Op4. So what this is here is we have everything laid out that we are bringing to TUSC. This is our first time going to the course. There's a lot of information out there about what you should and what you shouldn't bring. This is based off of the packing list and some of our prior experiences in real world scenarios, and this is what we're bringing. So we wanted to bring you this video, talk through it, show you what we got, and then hopefully after the course and its successful completion, we are going to do another breakdown video talking a little bit more in depth about what we would have cut out or what we wish we had. Let's get into it.
First things first, all this stuff has got to be on us at all times. You never know when you're going to need certain items, so you're going to have it with you. All this stuff is going to be shoved into our rucks. We're required to have 2 packs, so 1 main rucksack and 1 assault pack. For my rucksack, I'm running the Hyperlight Southwest, and this is a 70-liter pack. If you notice, it'll kind of bunches itself down if you're not using a lot of it, but it gives you a ton of real estate. So if you need to, you can pack this thing all the way up to 70 liters, which is excellent. For my assault pack, I'm running the Agilite AMAP 3, and this is a pack from Agilite that's great. It hooks onto your plate carrier. If you're going to use a plate carrier, it has a bunch of different really cool options. I put a few different Agilite pouches and different various items on this so that I can carry more stuff on my assault pack, because this is what I'm going to have on me more often than not. Once we set up some kind of camp or OP or whatever, we'll be able to ditch our rucksacks hopefully and just run with these assault packs.
And one thing that's cool about the Hyperlight pack is, like, I use them backpacking as well. They're just super lightweight. And so Buddy, for instance, he kind of took a non-tactical approach to his ruck, which I think is going to pay off dividends because you're going to save so much weight. Now, I, on the other hand, have something a little bit more traditional when it comes to a military ruck style pack. This is a Mystery Ranch Bridger assault pack. I don't know the exact liters on this, but it's big. It's probably around 70 as well, packed out. Although I will say, for my assault pack, I did also go with a Hyperlight 22-liter pack here. So I'm hoping, like Buddy said, once an OP is set up or however that scenario plays out, I'm going to be able to leave this behind, and then when we're doing actual patrolling, I'm going to be able to keep my essentials here in this pack, which also allows you to pack it out a little bit more, keeps it really lightweight, and even has a spot on the front here with this cordage that's adjustable that I can keep my helmet on it and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to using this pack. Hopefully I don't have to carry this pack around with me everywhere for 4 days straight, but if I do, we have systems in place for all that, so we'll see. Yeah,
and like he was saying, I took kind of a non-tactical approach for my rucksack. The main thing being is this 70-liter pack weighs under 2 pounds. I mean, it is absolutely insane how light this thing is. But also, you see this big black pack and you're like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for what we're doing. So we have these scrims. This is from Bees Combat, and I have this large scrim, which will go over my giant rucksack. And then I also have a Bees Combat smaller scrim that will go over my assault pack. So we'll be able to blend into our environment, add vegetation or whatever we need to these pack scrims.
And I also am running a large pack scrim from 100 Concepts. They make a really good all-around larger pack scrim. And then for my assault pack, I do have a custom-made one that we made in-house here, just using some various multicam fabrics and stuff like that.
So when you get signed up for this course, DARC is going to send you a pack list that's going to pretty much break down everything that you need to have with you, and then some options that you can have with you to maybe make life a little bit easier. So first things first is clothing. I don't have them here with me, but I will be running Fall Raven Vita Pro pants that unzip on the side, kind of vent a little bit. Awesome pants. I think we're both going to be running similar setups with it comes to that. For a top, I'm going to be running, they require an M81 camo top. So like you'll see, he's got the Raider mod top here, and this is an M81 combat shirt. So I'll be running this more often than not. Also, I've got just a sun hoodie here. So this will be nice. It dries really fast. We're gonna be wet, it's gonna be hot, we're gonna be sweating a ton. So having different layers to change into and to modify your layers is important, but you don't wanna have so much stuff because we are only out there for 3 days, 4 days, 3 nights. So I'll be running those two. For sleeping, I've got, this is an Arc'teryx Atom LT. So this is just a thermal layer that I will probably throw in at night and kind of use it as a sleeping bag. So if I need to get up, do whatever I got to do, I can just throw my stuff on top of this and I won't be too uncomfortable. Also running an outdoor research. This is a Gore-Tex shell. If it looks like we're going to have a lot of rain, I'm going to have this regardless because you never know when it's going to rain. But I have this as well as a small outdoor research rain jacket. So this is super small. It'll fit into a pouch, and if some rain pops up and I don't have my assault pack or my rucksack with me, I'll have this in my assault pack. Also for clothes, socks are super important. I'm running Darn Tough. I brought 3 pairs of Darn Tough socks. I'll have 1 on, 2 backups, and then sock liners. So I have these merino wool sock liners that I'll run under my socks, will kind of help with that friction so I don't get any blisters. And then also a set of liner socks that are toe socks. So when I'm not running my boots, I'll be able to throw on some sandals or some kind of other footwear to let my feet breathe and my socks dry out. And this right here will give me to where I can still have a little toe dexterity. Running 1 extra pair of underwear. Hopefully I won't need those, but it's nice, you know, day or 2 in, swap out your underwear, you feel like a new man. Other than that, keeping my clothing pretty minimal. Like I said, 3 days, 4 days, whatever. You don't need a lot. I have a poncho liner here. I can use this for shelter. If it rains, I can sleep in it. So many different options with a poncho liner. Or sorry, poncho, not a poncho liner. For headgear, I've got an M81 boonie cap here. And this boonie cap actually has mosquito net built into it. Ton of mosquitoes in the swamp. This area is a swamp. So one of our biggest problems are going to be insects. So I'll be able to run this, sleep in this, whatever, kind of keep those bugs off of me. And then comfort item, I've got a little beanie here, probably sleep in that. Cold mornings, up patrolling, whatever, I'll have something to protect my head and keep me warm. And then I have a little bit of extra camo netting here. And on this, I can use this for shelter. I may just use it as a blanket at night, kind of bundle myself up, keep myself camouflaged while I sleep. And then just a pair of mechanics gloves. Other than that, it's pretty minimal.
Yeah. Like Buddy and I are very similar in that sense. We both have the idea that we do not need to bring a bunch of extra stuff, especially for a relatively short amount of time out in the field. That being said, I'm a huge proponent of making sure that my feet especially are happy. So extra socks for me, changing socks at least once a day depending on what we're doing is a big one for me, so I'm going to have enough pairs of socks. I like to pre-stage all my socks with foot powder as well. It's something that I do during hiking along long trail runs and stuff like that as well. It really helps to keep my feet happy, and that's important. Now, like Buddy said, we're in very, very wet, humid conditions, so that bacteria and whatnot that's going to start to grow, especially in places like your feet, we want to combat that as best we can. So I'm probably going to have a couple extra pairs of underwear for changing as well. I think Buddy is chancing it with 1, but hey, to each their own. Pants-wise, same thing. Rugged pants, Fall Raven, similar brands like that. I have some Cries as well. The main thing that they ask is that it's not camouflage. The only camouflage that they want to see at this course is like this M81 top. So that's what they've asked for. Now, I think jackets and scrim and things like that, it's not a big deal, but base clothing, pants, and whatnot, they want to see earth tones. So we're doing that. It's a rugged environment, of course. We're going to be on the move a lot. There's going to be swampy conditions. There's going to be grasses and briars and all sorts of different forest conditions like that. So I want to make sure that my body's protected. So we're going to have some pretty heavy-duty pants as well. I also have this shirt, this long sleeve from 13th Heaven. It's kind of like a combat top. I may run that a little bit as well, depending on what the weather's like. This just gives you a really breathable, lightweight layer. I also have a sun shirt that I plan to run for most of the time when I don't have to be wearing something like this. Gloves, of course, using those pigs, full dexterity. Beanie, never go anywhere without a beanie out in the field. And then as far as like my sleep system and my comfort here, I'm gonna probably reach off camera. And we have this accordion style sleep mat. It's just gonna go in my ruck. I can cut this down if I need to. I can just throw this up against a tree or on the ground. I don't expect us to get a lot of sleep over those 4 days and 3 nights. So I think we're gonna be a little bit on the move doing, pulling watch duty as well as, jumping in and getting 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there. So We're gonna
Yeah,
have that.
while he's talking about the thermarest real
yeah.
quick, he mentioned it cutting in half. So this is a thermarest as well. This is the Marine Corps issued sleep system. And what I did with my sleeping pad is I just cut it. So my thought process on this is I don't really need to protect my legs, so to speak. So as long as my upper body, my torso is comfortable and off of rocks or off the ground, that's all that's important to me. Like you said, we'll probably just throw this down up against a tree. I can also use this as a pillow and just try to catch a couple Z's whenever we get the opportunity.
And we're both really big on multi-purpose kit. So like you said, that particular sleep system, that pad can be used for a lot of different things. That's the same mindset that I have. Where I can cut weight, I will. And I think that's very important over the course of, even 4 days that you're rucking around out there and you have 40, 50 pounds on your back for the majority of the time. As much comfort as you can put into it that you can, you're gonna get out and your body's gonna appreciate it. So as far as some of those things, mosquitoes are a threat and a problem down there. So just in case, I do have a very Sea to Summit. Both of these are from that company. They make very lightweight gear. This is a pyramid mosquito net. I can tether this up. I can sleep inside of it if I need to. But more likely than not, I'm gonna be using this tiny little head net here. I don't have one that's attached to a boonie, but this one just drapes over the head, and then I can put my hand, sleeves down, long pants on, hands in my pockets, and I'll be more or less protected from bugs as I'm trying to catch a couple Z's. And then for warmth, I actually do have, for a little bit more shelter, I do have a full poncho here that can cover my body as well as my ruck here. And then for a little bit of extra warmth, I do have one of these, just a whoopee here, a little extra comfort, a little extra warmth if I need it during the night.
So next up, we're going to talk about PPE. Some of these items were mentioned in the previous, like the gloves and stuff like that. I'm going to be running a Ops Corps bump helmet. The reason we're running bump helmets is we don't need ballistic helmets on this course, and the weight difference is huge. So we're both going to be running bump helmets. Like I said, this is the Ops Corps. I'm running Peltors on the side for my comms, hearing protection or whatever. And then I have just a little red light in case I need some kind of light. So footwear, I'm gonna be running the GoRuck Mac V's. These are the new ones, and these are a jungle boot. So like we mentioned, we're gonna be in a swamp. It's gonna be wet, it's gonna be gross. We're gonna have wet feet a lot of the times. A lot of times we're gonna have to go in, we're gonna have to get water, and we're just gonna get wet. So I'm running these jungle boots. They've got a little vent hole here so that my feet can get wet. They're not waterproof, they're not Gore-Tex. So my thought process on this is my feet are gonna be wet a lot, but these are gonna drain. So they're gonna dry faster. Whenever I get the opportunity, I can pop these off. They're gonna dry really quick.
I'm taking a very similar approach as far as mindset goes. When I was working over in Africa, we were around the equator for multiple years, and it was very hot and very humid. And I have gotten through a lot of tough days with a pair of Solomons. I like these. I've worn them a bunch. I've worn the Gore-Tex and non-Gore-Tex versions. These particular ones are the non-Gore-Tex versions, and I have a pair of Chaco sandals as well that fit me really well, and I can patrol in them if need be, if I'm letting my feet dry. So my thought process, and Buddy's the same, is that because of the swampy, wet, humid conditions that we're going to be dealing with, and foot health being super important in a patrolling fashion, we want to make sure that our feet are able to breathe and therefore dry. Neither one of us is running Gore-Tex. Obviously a jacket's one thing if it rains, but boot-wise, no Gore-Tex. We made that decision. And then my helmet, like he said as well, it's a bump helmet from Ops Corps. There's no need to put all that added stress on your neck for all those days on patrol for this course. This one is set up very similarly. I have my mount on here for my nods. I'm running DTNVSs for this course. I just have some night vision related stuff for my teammates. I have a counterweight on the back here just to keep things a little bit more comfortable for me because the helmet is so light. I have a Surefire light on the side here. I have this little admin light here that it's red. That's kind of nice, and it is on a GSR mount, which keeps it really nice and mobile on here. Then I can have my Princeton Tech mount light and my Surefire light right here and easy to access. And then for me, I've often run things this way. It gives me a little bit more versatility. I don't have helmet mounted Ear Pro for this course. Oftentimes I will run my Ear Pro standalone like this. I have Ops Corps amps in this case, and then I'll just run it underneath the helmet. It allows me to remove the helmet quickly if I need to, still have hearing protection. And then I also have just a little pair of Surefire EP7 little ear defenders here in case that we're in a patrolling sense. We're not wearing this stuff, but we still need some hearing protection. I got a little packet of those as well. All right, so next up on the list for us is personal hygiene. Now we've talked about the socks and staying comfortable and keeping our bodies happy as possible. So a little bit of personal hygiene can go a long ways out in the field. We wanted to keep things lightweight as possible and compact. So for me, I just have these new little Spiritus Systems cases here that have the see-through window. It's kind of nice for this kind of stuff. In here, I just have something that I would not go anywhere without at this point, work-wise or patrolling-wise like this, and that is pack of dude wipes. Cleaning yourself up in certain regions helps a lot and keeps you much happier and your body much happier. The other thing I like to carry around is a small thing of Vaseline. This helps with any chafing or any rubbing that may come into place. It soothes the skin a little bit as well if you have any rashes that break out. And then in here I have just a small thing of deodorant, small thing of hand sanitizer, and then I'm also going to kind of run right over into my medical stuff, my extra medical stuff, I should say. This course, they want you to bring an IFAK. They want you to bring 2 blue tourniquets, or at least tourniquets that are marked for training. And then I just have a few other things that I like to carry in this environment too. So you're gonna have ibuprofen. You're gonna have some sort of allergy medication. There's a lot of problems with allergies down there, whether you have them or not, due to the environment that you're in. Then one thing I like to carry all the times, whether I'm hiking or doing this kind of stuff, is moleskin. I have a little pair of shears to be able to cut those up. And the trick that I found with this, for me personally, is if I feel any hot spots starting, I like to cover those areas immediately before it turns into anything much worse. Then, of course, we talked about bugs being a huge issue. We got some serious heavy hitter, insect repellent stuff here. Super poisonous stuff, but hopefully it'll keep the bugs away. I got a small little thing of poison ivy and poison oak skin cleaner in case you come in contact with it because of where we are. It can happen. And just some sunscreen as well because we're going to be out patrolling for multiple days. Don't know what the weather's going to be like, but if we're out in the sun, I don't want to get sunburned. I'm going to try to mitigate that as much as possible. The other thing I have too is a small, I think it's in this one right now, just a small boo-boo kit. This is probably the thing that you're going to use more times than not. It's just going to be for small cuts and abrasions, maybe little burns. I don't know what may come about, but I have a little kit right here. And also has a tick puller in here because unfortunately, Arkansas has a huge problem with ticks. And I grew up on the East Coast and ticks absolutely suck. Not looking forward to it, but we're going to be ready for it in case we get any on us.
Yeah, and I'm running pretty much a lot of similar items. Mine are kind of spread out on me, but I've got them kind of situated in different spots. I've got a few items in my assault pack, some in my ruck, some on me. I have moleskin, some blister care right here readily available because like you said, as soon as you start feeling a hot spot, just stop what you're doing if it's possible and go ahead and take care of that because the last thing you want to do is be out there with wet feet and your feet are blistered and peeling and it's just miserable. So I'm running those. Also, like I said, dude wipes, very important. I don't have Vaseline, I like it dry. And then we're not completely sure what the situation is gonna be on going to the bathroom. Of course, if you're gotta take a piss, go out in the woods, do what you gotta do. But I'm taking these little wag bags in case we need these. These allow you to go number 2 into this little bag. It's got some chemicals in it that kills the smell, the bacteria, pack it in, pack it out. Also with that, I'm running just a small toothbrush, toothpaste, so I can brush my teeth in the morning. It just kind of helps start the day off or the afternoon or whenever it is that you get a little nap. Same with a lot of the medical stuff. Running a small boo-boo kit in this. I've got a little tick puller, magnifying glass, more blister stuff, some burn cream, allergy medicine, shears, flashlight, gloves, just, all the necessities. We've got a lot of different medical stuff on us. We'll kind of go over the IFAK stuff maybe as well, but it's pretty standard across the board on what you're gonna carry when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And I've chose to cut weight by not carrying a toothbrush because I'm just gonna share buddies.
Yeah. Yeah, he's making fun of my, what was it?
I actually have a toothbrush in there as well.
Oh, do you?
I forgot to say.
And then, yeah, same as him, stuff for poison oak, poison ivy, just a wash. If you get into that kind of stuff, you can hit yourself real fast. With this, it'll kind of kill the poison and keep you from breaking out. And it just fits perfectly in this little Surefire suppressor pouch.
So one of the biggest parts of this course is water and water purification. Now, one of the things that they tell you when you enter the course and you're in that real 24/7, you're living the course for those 4 days and 3 nights, is that you have to make your own water throughout the whole thing. And because of where we are, the nature of swamps, it can be contaminated. And so water purification is one of the most important aspects of this whole course and sustainment. So Everybody's supposed to bring a few different items, including a good gravity filter. So we're gonna break down here what we have and what we're bringing for our water procurement items, and let's jump into it. So I just have one of these little bags from Gear Lab. It's just a nice mesh bag that allows me to carry all this stuff organized and neatly, which I'm absolutely crazy about and take hours to pack my stuff. And in here I have, for my gravity filter, this is a MSR Auto Flow filter. I have a Gravity Works carbon element pre-filter that I've put on after the fact, just gives a little bit of help with cleaning. This autoflow works extremely fast, and it's one of the fastest flow filters on the market as far as I know. I also have brought a spare filter for it because I don't know how much water I'm going to be filtering with this. It might be many, many, many liters. It could get very clogged and dirty, so I wanted to be ready with a second backup filter. Then I just have an attachment that goes on an Nalgene or a different type of water bag pack or whatever. We'll get into that. So that's my filter itself, and that's my main one. And then I also have a couple of these MSR multi-liter bags. So this one, for instance, if we're moving a lot of water for the team, not just for myself, this is gonna be a Dromedary by MSR 6 liter. It's gonna be able to link right up to the filter. I'm gonna have my dirty bag hanging above, and then it's gonna auto flow filter that water right into this 6 liter pouch as quickly as possible so we can get moving. I do also have a smaller one as well. This is a 4 liter tucked in here as well. I don't know exactly what our needs are going to be, so I wanted to be kind of ready for that. The 4 liters more so with my own personal water in mind, or maybe I will use a 4 and a 6 together for the team, which will give us 10 liters of filtering as quickly as possible. And then I have one other pouch dedicated to water here. We just have a bunch of aqua tabs here. This is going to allow me to purify a bunch of water at once. So if we're dealing with large Scepter cans or jerry cans of water for the team, we can drop these in here, and I got a lot of them. There's about 30 packs in here ready to go. And then I have a personal water decon kit from Cana Provisions. A lot of this stuff comes from Cana Provisions. We sell Cana Provisions, but also we support them with our hard-earned dollars, and we use a lot of their stuff because it's some of the best available on the market. And then I have something else from Cana Provisions, which makes a lot of sense and helps a lot, especially when you're dealing with high stress environments and need to do some calculations quickly. This is a pack of their water cards. So what this does is it has a breakdown of all of your different purification methods, as well as the way to go about it per size of the container that you're dealing with. So when we're dealing with a small amount, like a single container of water, canteen of water, it's going to tell you how to purify that properly and safely. Or if we're doing a bunch of Scepter cans all at once for a larger group of people, that information is going to be quickly accessible right here as well. So they're really nifty to have. That's why I have them here. And then cleaning out your filters is super important. So we have a flush right here, which is going to tell you the cheat sheet on how to properly do it. Make sure you're doing it right, and getting that filter cleaned out. You got to make sure that you have a flush.
I am just going to bring 6 white monsters and then let this guy purify my water. Now, in all reality, he's got his water stuff squared away. I'm still kind of learning my water procurement protocols, but I'm running a lot of similar things. Kind of break into my water bag here. I have a bunch of different Cana Provision products as well. This is personal rehydration, so it's going to give you electrolytes, things like that, to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Personal water purification tablets, just like he said, the aqua tabs, a flush as well. And then for my gravity bag, I'm just going to I have this super small live straw. This is just my personal 3 liter gravity bag. So pretty simple. Also has the filters, the tubes, all that nice stuff with it. Another extra thing of aqua tabs and a Cana Provisions personal water decon kit. I will also be running with my water stuff. I've got a bunch of these little platypus. I've got this super small 1 liter that I can carry in my assault pack. I've got a 2 liter larger one here, as well as this small Cana Provisions Nalgene. And then I'm running Cana Provisions bottle with the tack valve here and a straw so that I can hydrate and drink water while I'm moving. While I'm patrolling, things like that, so I don't have to stop and I don't have to dig any of this stuff out of my bag. I can just simply pull this up, take a drink, and keep trucking.
And on the topic of water bottles, you're supposed to bring minimum of 2 canteens or a Nalgene style water bottle. Just a quick shout out to Tac Valve. They make this brand new antimicrobial water bottle. It is the first of its kind. It's great for tactical applications and beyond. There's different types of caps that hook up with gas masks. And for instance, we'll be carrying them on this course and using them. And you can just pop that open here and you have a squeeze and you don't have to take the whole lid off to get yourself a quick drink and stay hydrated. So awesome bottles. Really stoked on these. And of course, I as well have one of the Kana mini bottles here. I like to wrap tape around all my bottles because it gives me a good place to store duct tape because you never know when you need it on your kit. Just a good place to store it. And then this one actually links up and fits right in the Spiritus pouch right on my cummerbund here and will allow me to have quick access to water if I'm pulling watch duty, if I'm on a patrol or whatnot. So awesome little water bottles to have.
All right, so on the packing list, they give you some different options for what they'd like you to bring for food. We've still kind of been debating back and forth on what we want to carry, how we're gonna break it down. So we might modify a couple of these things, but I'm going to be for sure running some of these Peak Refuel dehydrated meals. These are 2 servings per container, so what I'm thinking is I will probably cut these down into some small Ziploc bags. I'm not gonna be running a way to heat up water. I'm not gonna be carrying a camp stove or anything like that, just to kind of ditch some weight. So I'll probably just put some room temperature water in here, let it set for a longer duration so that it breaks down and I can eat it. I'm not too worried about flavor or having warm food. I'm just trying to sustain myself for these few days. Inside my dangler, inside my pouch, different places, I'm running these chews, these energy chews. I have a severe caffeine addiction, so the main thing I'm worried about is getting caffeine headaches. So I've got a ton of caffeine, a ton of energy chews, things like that. So gonna be snacking a lot on granola bars, candy, different things like that. Just kind of calories in, calories out. It's gonna be really hard to take in as many calories as we're gonna be burning throughout the day. We're gonna do our best, but mostly just trying to keep yourself firing on all cylinders is a really tough thing when you're out in the field.
You told me that you were going to eat nothing but peach cobbler and cans of Zin.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I mean, this is peach cobbler, and then yeah, I mean, at least a can and a half of Zins a day should be sustainable.
Just put Monster in that and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
For me, food-wise, same thing, a little bit up in the air exactly how I want to work it out. I have it broken down into bags day 1 through 4. Some of it is stuff that I've made at home. Some of it is going to be camp meals. I do have one of these little MSR pocket stoves, as well as butane lighter and just a tin to heat up water. Buddy and I are going to be on a team together, so obviously I can extend some hot water to him if you'd prefer not to have cold cobbler, but we'll see. Otherwise, same thing like he said, we're just going to be snacking. We've heard from other people that you may not get a real solid chance every day to sit down and actually cook a full meal. That's fair and that's totally believable. We will see what happens for us, but we're sort of planning for the worst case scenario of being on the move most of the time, catching a little bit of sleep here, eating a little bit there, and we're just going to have snacks easily accessible to us throughout the whole time.
So what everybody's probably waiting on, what are our rifle build outs? This is what I've chose to run for the TUSC program. This is an FN M4 lower, Mark 18 upper. It's kind of heavy. I was debating on whether or not I was going to run this cheese grater quad rail or if I was going to go some like Noveski handguard that's a lot lighter. But the Mark 18 is just kind of a vibe.
It's a vibe.
For sure. I'm running EOTech with a 3x magnifier on top of it. For a can, I usually run an RC2 on this, but I decided to run a blue can training can. We're gonna be running blanks, ammunitions, whatever it is that they're gonna be running, and I don't really wanna foul up my super expensive suppressor, so I'm running this blue can with a suppressor cover, Surefire light. Got a little 3D printed light cover so that I don't ND during the night. Yeah, basically just a nice little rifle.
Just a workhorse.
It'll go to work.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things about this course is that they want you to be set up like a true patrolling fashion to keep it as realistic as possible. But as Buddy said, there's no live fire. There's not even simunitions. It's actually a blank firing system that they have used for this course. So more so just get the feel for things, and that's why we have our rifles here. And for my rifle, my setup is a little bit different than Buddy's. I chose to run an LPVO with a dot on top setup. It's got the 100 Concepts flash hider here on the RMR that's on top here. This is a 1-to-8 attacker. For my optic setup, I have an Engol on here, mod light. It's missing the little 3D printed 100 Concepts cap. Got to throw that on there as well. This is a base rifle of a Noveske Chainsaw SCO Regulars Edition 11.5. So I really like the size of this and the weight of this. It's a really, really sweet little gun. I got GSR furniture on here. Got a Wary Solution sling. And then I too am running a blue training can for this setup because I know that we're not doing live fire. I know that we're not even doing sims. I just might as well save the weight but keep the length to keep it as realistic as possible. And then I have a box cutter gear suppressor cover here just to hide the blue of the training can. So yeah, for the most part, looking forward to running this rifle. I think it's going to be pretty lightweight and pretty easy to have on me for the next, 4 days and 3 nights. And yeah.
So with our rifles, we're going to be running them all week. So they're probably going to get dirty. And like you said, we're going to be running blanks. If you've ran blanks in the past, you know how just dirty they are. So keeping your rifle clean is important. But also when it comes to just being in the field for a few days, I didn't want to carry a ton of rifle cleaning stuff. So I'm simply just going to be running a cut down brush so that I can keep my rifle scrubbed down. Just some sleeves off an old shirt for a rag, and then just running some gun oil. Pretty simple, but yeah, it'll do the work.
It's got the essentials. So mine's a little bit more in-depth just because it's what I had set up, pretty lightweight. I got some CLP. I just have a small little baggie here of Q-tips and zip ties. I have a rag in here. I have a multitasker tool with a few different attachments for my various gun. I have a barrel snake, and I think I have a brush and one of our extractor tools that we sell. Pretty cool things. Check them out.
Those are super handy. I run one of those right here in my front admin pouch. And then speaking of that, chest rigs, right? So we'll just go over our chest rigs real quick. We're gonna be running these rifles, running this whole kit on us. The chest rigs are probably the centerpiece to that. Everything that we carry on us, we've got it strategically placed on us according to our preferences and our experiences in the past. So this is the Agilite Reaper kit. I'm running a placard in the front where I can run 3 mags. We have to have 10 mags total. So I'll run 3 here, a couple in my assault pack, and then just various places that I've got them figured out. I've got this little admin pouch on the front. Got my little extractor tool here. I have this little still set of trimmers for vegetation so that I can kind of take the environment and adapt it to my kit. So I can cut twigs, branches, different vegetation with these and place them in my scrim on my rifle, whatever I need to do to kind of camouflage myself. I'm also running some camo face paint in here, extra set of lenses for my iPro, some dark tinted lenses. I've got a compass here. It's a Sunto compass. It's Velcroed in so that I don't lose it, but I can just pull it off, have it. It's also attached to me, so if I drop it, I don't lose it. So pretty simple admin pouch here. In my dangler, I'm running some ibuprofen, some Oakley clear lens, iPro, a buff, a couple different little items there. Pen, Sharpies, things to have something to write with. I have a multi-tool here, a set of trims here, or shears, sorry. My water bottles here, I have a little pouch here that has some extra camouflage stuff that I can use to adapt myself to the environment. And then on this side, I have a small little IFAC, blister care, things like that. So pretty simple, pretty lightweight, streamlined. Can run my pack over this and have a full fighting loadout if you take the rest of the magazines in my assault pack.
Yeah, and for my pack here, I'm running the Wary Solutions SAM rig. It's a really comfortable, compact, and adaptable chest rig, so I found it to be great for this application. I have the Molly Placard Delete under here, so I'm able to run 2 larger GP pouches on the front. I have a dangler underneath, so it's going to have similar stuff to what Buddy has, some easily accessible things that I may want, including some snacks and whatnot at all times. I have this Spiritus pouch on the side here. I can't remember what they're called, but it's from Spiritus, and it fits my mini water bottle really nicely. And the nice thing about this chest rig is this is a large size, and I did that so it will fit the water bottle, but also give me 8 different mag cells along the side here. So I can store the majority of my ammunition, my magazines, if I need, right here. If not, I can use the cells on the cummerbund that's built in to store other little things that I may need on the patrol as well. I have a couple other things. There's going to be a little admin pouch that's going to go right here. It's just not attached right now. And then I have this for a multi-tool, and there's going to be comms routing all through here They don't specify exactly how much communication there's going to be via radios, but everyone's expected to bring a Baofeng or something similar. So we'll bring that stuff down as well and jump right in. And then, otherwise, just really compact, lightweight setup. Both of us are trying to be as slim and lightweight as possible for this because we are going to be out and about, putting in lots of different miles and lots of time with heavy packs on. So I think that's the name of the game, lightweight and compact.
Yeah. So just a quick little recap. Like I said, Darcy, if you enroll in this course, they'll send you a packing list. We just kind of went through, hit all the different bullet points on the packing list. We've got clothing, PPE, our packs, food, water, our rifle setups, all the different little things. If you have any questions, hit us up. We are hoping after the course the plan is to come back and do another one of these and show you kind of what we brought with us that we wish we would have left home, or things that we wish we would have brought with us that we didn't have in the first place. So this is kind of based on both of our prior backgrounds and our experience in this field. So I think we've really got all of our bases covered here, but it's going to show when we're out in the field. So that's one of the things. You might have everything that you think you need, but once you get in the field, things get hot, you get in a gunfight, whatever the situation is, all that stuff's going to kind of come into play. So you're going to see how prepared you are or how prepared you wish you were.
And that's one of the things that's really cool about Darcy and all of the different programs that they offer down there. They offer a lot of really in-depth multi-day courses for civilians, and from what we can tell and the feedback we've heard from people who have taken these courses before, that it was a great experience and an excellent opportunity to really run through, dial in your gear, and really take a mental note of what works and what doesn't. So then that way, if you, God forbid, ever have to use this in a real world situation, you are more prepared than you were before. And that, at the end of the day, is the goal.
Yeah, and one of the most important things that I heard, I watched a ton of videos of people breaking down their TUSC kits. There's a few of them out there. There's not as many as I hope there would be. So that's kind of why we're laying all this stuff out. But one of the things that I picked up on the videos I watched was I wanted to emphasize, don't go out and feel like you have to buy all this stuff. You don't need all this stuff. They will send you a list, but they also say, bring what you have, bring your loadout, run your loadout. And then after the course, you can take what you learned and kind of critique your own stuff and then buy the stuff that you actually need. So instead of going out there and dropping $1,000 on all this stuff or thousands of dollars on all this stuff, just take what you have, learn from the guys there at TUSC, at Darcy, and modify your kit accordingly.
We'll be heading out to TUSC next week, and we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.